He took me inside a glass cabin and shouted at his peak of his voice, saying that what attitude do you have to show up like this and stand like this and create nuisance here, all those things. He said, okay, nothing doing, you don't have to do anything. You can just return to office, resign, leave your resignation, you may leave.
You're referring to the Gen Z.
I won't call them Gen Z. Depression is something which I haven't heard about for all through my career.
For a tie, they would not
For a
let you
time,
in.
yeah. See, everybody is and should be egoist. And one punch,
Yeah.
my head will roll away. Pushed to a corner that you feel like venting out everything. It doesn't matter whether you have already succeeded also because it's a cycle.
Welcome once again to another episode of Zayzo Stories. And once again, I have someone very interesting with us. We have Aditya here. So welcome to the show, Aditya.
Thank you.
It was great to know that someone like you is into sales. Sales is very close to my heart. I do that for a living myself. Being vice president of sales, you are into wildlife photography, and then you're a singer.
Yeah.
Like, that is just so bizarre at the same time, so amazing. So talk to us a little bit about who you are.
Well, to start with, like I always believe, sales is something which is part of us, any person for that matter. From our childhood,
Yeah.
we have been doing sales. That's how I
would
believe.
agree.
Right? You want something, you convince your parents and sell
Yeah.
your idea. So I always wanted to be into sales. I was very clear for the kind of nature I have. From educational background, if you ask me, I've done my BSc in computer science. I was very good in coding back then. I realized that I shouldn't be a person who would be sitting in front of a computer or a laptop and do coding. That's when I decided, okay, I think sales is something which I like, and I keep talking to people. I love talking to people. I love meeting people a lot, understand everybody's perspective, and so that's what moved me into sales. And then I decided, okay, instead of MCA, I will pick up MBA and specifically into marketing. And as a the module was there with the dual specialization, I took systems. ICICI was my first job which I started in corporate. This was back end of 2004. So I completed my MBA in 2004, mid of something, yeah. Then immediately I got into ICICI. Then on sales cycle started, and yeah, a lot of learnings always, all through till date. It's more important, which I want to specify. Like I said, every time you meet different people, you get to learn a lot.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So something which I would have thought that I am good at, and maybe when I meet somebody, I will realize that okay, this is something which is missing in me. I plug it into me and then start using it. So that's how I have been evolving myself to keep up whatever the evolution which is happening in the industry as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. When I was reading about you, Aditya, and this is something which is very close to my heart, I believe in that too, is I think you believe in no pressure sales.
Yeah.
But however, the world of sales is filled with pressure. So how do you manage that?
Well, see, there are two parts to it. Pressure, whether to internal stakeholders like me or my team, that is, I'm going to keep it aside for now. But yeah, when it comes to selling to a end customer or a brand, I always believe that we shouldn't force sell anything. We don't have to force anybody to buy our product. Rather, over a period of time, I have learned that everybody has to have a need first of all. So for me as a sales guy, I'll have to identify whether there's a need or not. If there is a need, how I can build on it and deep dive and understand what level of magnitude of need is that, and how I can do a custom made solution to them and present it to them in a way that they realize that yes, this is something which I've been wanting for unknowingly, and then the entire process becomes very easy. And it doesn't happen in one attempt, it doesn't happen in two attempts. So for this, we'll have to meet the client regularly. We'll have to understand them at a personal level. We'll have to understand them at the professional level. What are the dependencies they have internally? There will be multiple stakeholders. So how to navigate through them, and then understand what will help him ease out and he becomes our influencer. That's how it is. So once that custom made solution is given, it becomes very easy for a salesperson because all he has to do is just check with his point of contact, and the point of contact will do the rest of the part internally. And that's how we have been doing it. And the number of brands where we have done this, we have created curated solutions to them which could have been only at an ideation level for them, or could be a wish list for them. If this is available, I will be doing it, kind of. So we pick that kind of things. And because today competition is so huge,
Yes.
everybody does the regular thing. So if I go and they're saying that I'm also going to give you XYZ solutions, it will not interest them, right? You will have to create that interest by understanding what they want. So that's what I train or give insight to my
team. Interesting point. How many people do you have in your organization?
so currently my organization is around some 70 plus.
70 plus people, and these are like young people, mixed bag. Okay. So, the reason why I asked that question is because they are different people, different mindset.
Absolutely.
But what you're talking about is aligning them to your, point of view of no pressure sales. How do you achieve that with that kind of a diverse crowd?
Simple, simple. First, allow them to do what they want. They will put all their efforts, right? So I don't want to block their creativity. That's the idea, not to put them into pressure or to make them realize that what I was doing. So first, allow them whatever they want to attempt, let them attempt. Then they will come back naturally to us saying that I have done X, Y, Z things, and things didn't work out. So could you help me out? Then I would tell them, probably saying that, see, this is what I have learned over a period of time, and these parts is where you will have to focus more. And if you crack this, then your life becomes very simple.
Okay, very well.
And today's generation kids are also pretty much intelligent in this. They have, unlike our olden days, if I have to say, I don't remember me using LinkedIn. Even today, speaking, I use it for certain limited.
You're referring to Gen Z.
I won't call them Gen Z as okay. Gen Z or even a generation before that also. So today there are so many tools which you can use to at least fetch a contact or stuff. And during my days, we were doing road shows, we were doing door knocks. And today, people are not interested to do that, or they don't want to do it, or there is no need to do it. You can see either ways. So it's about the perspective. So I still recommend a lot of people, at least for an experience sake, you go and have a experience of doing door knocks, have an experience of
In-person check.
yes, yes. Yeah. Just go do door knock, let the security reject. See, today people are not being rejected, so one rejection also pushes them down, and they literally crumble down, and it becomes very difficult for them to again stand up and fight against the process. So that's why off late you listen to these words called as depression. Depression is something which I haven't heard about for all through my career, right? There are a number of examples in the market where people have gone through so much of turmoil. They have stood up, they have come, fought back, and again they have failed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to take names, but there are people who are well established entrepreneurs. I'm talking about huge brands, and for sure they have failed. Even today they have failed, and they are still trying to. They have not been pushed into depression. Then why so these kind of kids? It is because they have not seen that rejections. So as an experience, I want this generation to go face rejections. Let you get rejected by a silly. I mean, I'm not demeaning the role of that person, but a person who is at an entry level.
Yeah.
Right. Security itself will say if you are not having a tag. So I have a good experience in my first job. We were not allowed inside if I am not wearing a tie, and the person who used to stop us was a security person.
For a tie, they would not
For a
let you
tie,
in.
yeah.
Wow.
That was my first job, but that's again learning. That helps you learn something. So one is that you discipline yourself, and second is that alternate hack. Be pally with your security.
Okay, fair enough.
So this I do with every organization where I visit, any brand I visit, any client I visit. I ensure that I build that rapport with the housekeeping people, or be gentle, nothing else. Be gentle, and
I
you
think
never know
respectful.
when. Yeah, yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So that will help. So these kind of experiences you will have only when you go meet, in a crude way. If you have a organized telephonic conversation with them, they give an appointment. Yes, you will achieve, but that is something which is limited to a level, right? If you want to go all out and learn more and have experience and exposure of everything, you will have to go through the crude way of sales.
Another question, which is very interesting, is see at a VP level, I know you're trying to build leaders today. So, what is that Aditya way of building leaders out? What's that secret sauce?
There's no secret sauce. It's all about creating that value system. So I believe in certain value system, like I told integrity, building trust to the client, and having integrity towards the client and also to the internal stakeholders. This is something which I emphasize always with people, and there is no shortcut to success at all. There's something which I firmly believe. You put your efforts. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, we should have that ability and maturity to understand, saying that probably not the time now, not the right time for me now. Maybe in future I will get it. So there are so many examples which I have personally experienced, where things haven't been falling in place, and but when you don't expect, suddenly that same old client could come up directly to you and say that, look, we were talking long back about this, and why don't we reconnect and start out. So this is something which I always encourage my team, and this is something again which they will have to download to their future team members, which I believe. So the source to this is that create parallel people like you.
Very hard, but I do that as well.
Yeah. It is hard. It is hard because we are dealing with individuals, and not every individual will be having the same kind of maturity
Yeah.
in terms of thinking, and not everybody would be having same kind of ego level understanding. See, everybody is and should be egoistic. I would say that, right? But to what level, at where, and how, when, it matters a lot. So sometimes we'll have to let go, and sometimes we'll have to hold to ourselves. So that is something which I try to, I won't call it a training, but yeah, I try to give it as an input to people. All right. So sometimes how you will have to deal with people when they're very rigid. Submit yourself. No harm in it. Right. And when sometimes we will have to be rigid, let us be rigid. Right. Because it is at the benefit for both the businesses. It is not something at a personal level. So this clarity, if a person is having, I think they can easily, download the same kind of skill sets to the further line.
On that question, Aditya, I have two things I want to ask. Number one, do you follow a sales methodology for your team? And number two is, do you have a style of leadership?
Okay, so it's a combination of both, I would say. Right. Of course, we do probing, etc. XYZ. That entire process, that is very mandate. That is the only way that you understand about the customer needs, which I was talking about earlier. So we do that. At the same time, I try to how do I say this? I try to take certain kind of inspiration from nature. Since I am also into wildlife photography, I see few strategies which the wildlife or the nature adapts, and it's beautiful, very beautiful.
You want to talk about one strategy that you probably tried in your professional life?
Yeah, of course, of course. Since we are talking about the ego or stuff like that, see, it just takes a minute or a second for us to throw out or show off, saying that I'm just a name. Ultimately, if you see it, it's just a name.
Just a tiger.
See the beauty, be it a tiger or even a snake or an elephant. They are all three are looking in a different sizes and forms, right?
Yeah.
The kind of power, the kind of energy they can unleash on us, you can't even imagine. If a tiger decides to attack us, right?
I'm aware.
And one punch, my head will roll away. One punch, right? And it can, not even with sprint, from a seated position, it can probably jump up to some 12 or 13 feet high. Likewise, elephant, being so huge, it can run at 60 kilometers per hour. And anywhere, if you see any videos, they don't do charge directly at all. They just give a mock charge. Even a snake, for that matter, because they know the importance of retaining that power. Right?
I had no idea, but thank you very much.
It is very important to know that how I retain my power, which can be devastating, if at all, if I unleash it.
Right.
So we will have again at corporate where you would be pushed to a corner that you feel like venting out everything or just unleashing because you're talking to a person who's at a vice president level. But it is your maturity or it is your experience which will teach you, saying that not now, right? And you do it only when it is required. So a wild animal unleashes its power only when it has to hunt down its prey, or when it is really at a tremendous threat, life threat. So that is how I try to do that and hold on, process it. Just take a deep breath and process it, and you can give a mild caution, saying that in a very polite way. So that's how I do, and I tell this to people also: learn, observe things, and another good thing is observation. Right, in wildlife, when you enter into a safari, people say that if you have sighted a tiger, how high chances is that the tiger would have sighted you at least the least as 10, 15, 20 times, that same tiger. That is elusive. They are, that is how elusive they are, and same applies to any animal form. A bird, if you are wearing a perfume, they know that there is an alien who is inside this forest, so they try to move away. I mean, they are so super duper intelligent, and probably I would have to have a separate session only about wildlife
On wildlife,
if I
yeah.
start talking about that. But yeah, so these kind of observation skills, an elephant can sense a human being's presence 3 kilometers before we reach them from the air. Same with the tiger, they can sense. They can just sense us from the air.
Tiger, I was aware.
Elephant
I
also.
was.
Elephant can
Wow.
also sense the water availability source underneath the ground. So that's how they have built.
That's very educational.
So
Man.
these kind of observations,
Yeah.
is something which is very, very important for sales guys. When I go sitting at a reception, I love to wait, right? So you will come to know who all are visiting a brand, right? Or people who converse and walk past by you, what kind of conversations they are. It's not, I'm overhearing, but you will get a knowledge.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
you will get to know so many things when you sit between a team of 10 people and they talk something and they present something to us. You get a lot. Underlined statements is something which I try to observe and make a note of it.
I call it social intelligence. Basically, you're
Yeah.
just trying to read
Yes.
what's around you
Yes.
effectively for to your advantage. I was reading about your profile, and then I came across something very interesting. I think a lot of us can learn out of this. Is I think you were at the verge of resigning from your job, and at that moment you had like a turning point in your life where you closed, I think, a very large deal,
Yeah.
and then that made you reevaluate the whole situation. Why don't you talk to us about that?
See, like I always tell people, sales is not something rosy. It doesn't matter whether you have already succeeded also because it's a cycle, right?
Yeah.
There have been situations where you will have to go through a lot of turmoil, trauma, however you call it. So it was at one of the organizations where I was working. I was given all the squeezed out accounts. So I was into sales as a key account manager, and literally no potential kind of accounts I had been given, and I had to go hunt a new set of accounts. And back then it was not that easy task. Even today it is not an easy task, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was under tremendous pressure of proving myself, having spent close to around 7 8 years in the sales. Of course, you get mentally bogged down very easily when you see that in front of you there are a set of accounts which were supposed to come to you, and but for whatever reason, I won't call it political. I won't call it partiality. Rather, because later back then I used to think that way, but later
Nine or 10 people would have said that, by the way. So kudos to you.
yeah. So later I realized that it is all about perspective. See, tomorrow
Right.
if I am in a situation and it's about survival, right? So a person has every right to go and ensure that he survives.
True.
So likewise, so it doesn't mean that I am supposed to get that opportunity, but I didn't get because of politics. So I won't call it as politics, but rather I would call it as competition. So that was an opportunity thrown at me, is what I see. So yeah, there was a situation where I was on the face told that today is going to be your last day. Last day if you are
Wow.
not going to prove yourself. And I was already under PIP, performance improvement program. Not once, I've been into that multiple times. So like I said, always it's been a cycle. So the entire team had gone out for an outing to Goa, if I'm not wrong. So since I was under this pressure, I didn't. People didn't bother to ask me, and I also was not in a mood to go. So my
So this is the same company where
the
you
same
are a part
organization.
of, right?
No, 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 no.
Okay, it's okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So my super boss called me, and I picked the phone. I was at the client's place. Multiple things happened at the same time over there. The client, I have been visiting them for so long, following up, and the HR proposed saying that why don't you join us as a state head to our line of business? We really like your profile, and they literally rolled out an offer to me over the conversation. I had been there to pick up a purchase order, which I did. Then the admin, I told HR wants to meet you. Then she said, why don't you join us? And they rolled out an offer also after having a conversation. So when I just finished this entire process, my super boss called me and he said, where are you? And I said, I'm at a client's place. He said, okay, nothing doing. You don't have to do anything. You can just return to office, resign, leave your resignation. You may leave. I said, okay, fine. Because I was now I have an offer letter also in my hand. So I said, okay, very good. And then the offer which came also was a very good, and it's still a very big brand today, a huge brand. I went back to office. First thing what I did is I picked up a white paper, full filmy style it was. I picked up a white sheet and I wrote my resignation. I went to my supervisor's cabin. I left my resignation on his table. Sir, you wanted this? Here it is. He said, just and looked at me. Then I said, You wanted this. This is the purchase order, and this is the brand. You can have it with you. Then
Oh.
then things changed. He said, "You are taking everything to heart. It is only to build the pressure on you. I had to put. I know your capabilities and all those things. Whatever had to come came." Then we sat down. That same very same meeting. We sat down in his cabin. I told how things have been played out, and what was supposed to be my set of accounts. Then the entire journey changed. Then he realized that there is a lot of things which can be reshuffled, and
Right.
the so-called real enterprise accounts were assigned to me. Then I went on to become a top performer in that organization.
So,
Yeah.
so beautiful, man. So, dwelling on that, I think the things I heard were one, you were on PIP, and from there, you are VP of sales today.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people I know, and the sales fraternity will actually correlate with what you just said. That generally a PIP is considered end of life
Yeah.
for most people.
Yeah.
When that term is used, it's considered very negative. Just so you understand,
True.
is because people perceive it very differently.
Yes.
But in your case, I don't think you did it that way. You went harder at it, and you cracked probably your biggest client at that point, and as a result, you got rewarded by enterprise accounts.
Yes.
That's a great story, man. Thank you very much.
So that again, comes from my inspiration from my life.
Okay.
Tiger, if it attempts to make a kill out of 10, only once it gets succeeded. That doesn't mean that it will give up hunting, right? Because it
True.
has to survive.
True.
So
True.
survival of the fittest. This
That
coinage of
is
this
good.
word came probably from all these things,
Yeah, yeah,
from the
yeah.
nature. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
You said you trusting people blindly cost you a lot.
true.
So what were you learning out of it, and then how do you incorporate that today with your team, with your clients, probably family?
So here the trust factor, what I was talking about, is more to do at a corporate level. So, like I said, I have my own value system and ideologies.
Right.
I have seen a lot of people who struggle at a very, very entry level during my initial phase of my career. They have been my part of my team, and they were always on the off roles of the company. So, one fine day when I had an opportunity where I could recommend and hire people, I thought saying that this is the opportunity that I have got, which I'll have to make it to the best use of it.
Hmm.
So I brought in people to the system, and they became part of on roles, and today they are doing really good.
Mhm.
But there are times when things change, people evolve. Again, it's again the perspective.
Right.
So maybe that time I was expecting saying that having done all these things, these people would travel in such a phase along with me,
Hmm.
not disturbing each other in the ecosystem. So, but I have seen some people who have behaved in a very different way.
Even though
Uh,
you've done so much for them.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Even
Yeah, yeah.
though the very reason that they are today at this level, I'm not trying to boast or take away the credits only to me, but still the entry point is
You
very
were like the
important, right?
support system,
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
you're saying. Okay.
So right from teaching them how to draft a mail, to right from how to attend an interview, to the from that level I have groomed them, and so once everything is set, they have turned their backs. So that is something which I have realized, saying that to what level should I limit myself, and sometimes still it is very difficult. Even today, if you ask me, it is very difficult to control that part.
Yeah.
Because like again, you are built in a way.
True.
The manufacturing defect is what I would say.
Yeah.
So sometimes you let go of those kind of insights and still try to do people, try to do and help people with whatever you can. But yeah, this is something which has given me at least a word of caution for myself whenever I interact with people, saying that I try to evaluate at least, saying that to what
Can
level
I
should
ask
I?
you a question on that?
Yeah.
So I know exactly what you're saying. I've been through that myself. Where you've been a support system for someone, and then
Hmm.
it feels like you got stabbed in the back.
Yes.
But then something in you tells you, what, I have to be super vigilant moving forward,
Yes.
but without losing who you are.
Exactly. Exactly.
How did you in your case balance it out with the new people that came in, like, because listen, some of these setbacks can absolutely change who you are.
True. So I
So
got your point.
yeah.
So what happened in the past scenario, which I explained to you, is that these guys, I became very emotionally connected or bonded with them.
Yeah.
So now I try to have. I'm also, even now I'm emotionally connected with my current set of team. but still always there is a very very small or a mild barrier which I try to maintain, saying that beyond this I don't want to get into their personal space,
Personal
or
space.
I
I
don't
understand.
want them to be also be part of my personal space. We talk about families, all those things are the same, but still there is that one very thin layer which I have
Yeah.
put,
Yeah.
which ensures that I don't feel offended later tomorrow if something goes wrong.
True. So, being a VP of sales, people think that you are invincible. I feel. What is that one thing or a few things that you would like to talk about that does not make it to social media or LinkedIn in your case?
Okay. Like I said, it is just a title, first of all. I don't see it from that standpoint. But yeah, from the career standpoint, if you see, having a consistent career in corporate life and having consistent success in corporate life and a reputation built for your own self,
Yeah.
a brand which you build for your own self, that is not an easy takeaway for anybody, no matter what. Like I told, you will have to undergo a lot of stuff, be it rejections from client. I have a very good example. I was referring to one of the organization where I was given all the squeezed out accounts, right? Again, one of the leading brand, international brand. When I went there, the security never opened the door, glass door, and because I was wearing the tag of that
Mm.
organization, so he said I have been instructed not to allow anybody from your organization. That's what the security told me, and yeah, I
Wow.
I said okay, if that is the case, no problem. I was just right in front of that elevator corridor, and I said, whoever has told you, given you this instruction, I would meet them. I will wait here. One or the other time, he will have to step out. I will meet him. I'll understand what was the reason behind it. Then I will make a move. This is what I told. And I waited for almost 2 hours over there. Then that security informed that gentleman, and he came to me and he opened the door. He took me inside a glass cabin and shouted at his peak of his voice, saying that what attitude do you have to show up like this and stand like this and create nuisance here and all those things. I heard him completely. I heard him. Then I told him, I understand you would have got a very bitter experience with us in the past, but I
Mm.
just want to know what is it, and if I wanted to see if I can do anything better. And once I prove that I'm better, it is up to you to give me a business or not. Mind you, you won't believe, that was one of my leading brand which used to ensure that I was always on top later,
That is so
and
cool.
we became so pally friends. All I had to do is multiple such cases I had. At one point of time in my career, all I had to do is just pick up my phone, call these people, send me a PO. This is what I used to tell, and to what
Okay.
level I want a PO, to what quantity I want a PO. They used to send.
See, that's relationship building.
That's relationship over a period
So I
of
think what
time.
I'm hearing is, as a sales leader and as VP of sales, you're saying relationship building is
Yes.
is the key in cracking some of these.
It is on the both the sides. You can have it on internal side, on external side. Internal side, I'll come to that. So normally people use this word politics or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
I would say it is all about perspective. If you are clear about your goal, if you are clear about your ambition, what you want to achieve in your career, if it is a position, money, whatever it might be, it is
Yeah.
fair for you to have that as a goal. Be, be very shrewd and clear about that and stick only to that. Forget about all other things. Navigate your way to achieve that, right? Again, inspiration from wildlife. Birds build their nest. They don't have a shelter on top,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
hatch their chicks.
Yeah.
How do you think they manage? How do the chicks manage? They don't give you reason saying that I can't hatch eggs because I don't have a shelter, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it has made a nest, it is not a permanent nest for them, right? So next time again, it has to build. Every time it has to build,
Yeah.
and this has been downloaded to their next generations also. Likewise, elephants. Today we have so much of development happening, and the corridors are
Of course.
disturbed. But that doesn't stop them at all. They
Mm.
keep going the same path.
Right.
They keep going the same path. They pass by that knowledge to their entire
To their
generation.
entire generation. Yeah.
Right. A tiger again. It doesn't stop. Like I told you, it doesn't stop hunting just because it faced one failure.
Yeah.
It faces 9 failures and the 10th one becomes a successful one. It loses
Great stories.
it loses its camp. Still, it doesn't stop. Right? They lose the sense of smell over a period of due to age factors. They lose their
Mhm.
eyesight, but still, till the last moment, they keep doing it, and they build a beautiful ecosystem. So internally, when I say they're building a relationship, They might be your competitors. Naturally, you will have to have internal competition also, right? If there is
Right.
no competition, there's no fun at all. So, internal competition, you build a beautiful ecosystem, define a territory for your own self, you work within your territory. Today in wildlife, when there is a tiger which approaches, there is a peacock which will give an alarm call. Then immediately monkey from above it gives an alarm. Then the deers also get alerted.
Right.
There is an ecosystem communication which happens between them, which we don't understand. Right? At least within your own competitive space, build a healthy ecosystem. Navigate. Don't call it toxic or political. Try to see how you can build a beautiful ecosystem within that and achieve your own goal over there. It is possible, quite possible.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. Aditya, I had one point to make, and I've gone through this. I would like to learn from you. So imagine you have a team member.
Yeah.
That person is struggling. It's very easy for leaders to say, hey, you know what, this guy is struggling, get him out.
Yeah.
However, great leaders would actually come forward and say, hey, you know what, I can pick this person from the ground up right on top. Did you go through anything, any of
Yes, yes.
this?
Every time.
You want to narrate a story?
Even in the current situation also, I have people who are very well, qualified to be having that role or designation for that matter, or a title for that matter. They have all the qualities. But sometimes, it is very human for you or any person to just give up saying that things are not working for me. You get that mental blockage at one point of time for sure, right? So that is when a leader is required. A leader pitches in and says, try to think it different, and you don't do it for him. It is easy for you to do it and
Teach them. Okay, got it.
yeah, you allow them to do it again. That has happened recently also, and today that gentleman, together he has picked multiple sales orders, together
On
currently
this
as an
gentleman
yeah.
story, without revealing the name,
Yeah.
do you want to talk about what was the numbers like before and then what are they like now?
So that geography itself is a very competitive geography. The region itself is a very very competitive region, and since that region geography also has a different culture and attitude, it doesn't work the way it works in probably south or east or west or whichever north. So every geography has got their own
Right.
ways of dealing with things and people. So that is a very competitive geography, and he had done all possible efforts. The only one thing which was missing is that he never went and met these clients just for a casual relationship. Casual relationship
In-person meeting was
in
not
person.
done.
No, in person also he was doing.
Okay.
But whenever he used to go, he used to say, "I wanted to talk about this." Is that business?
Okay.
I said,
Oh, you're saying you're doing understood.
You stop. I told him stop doing that. Just tell him I want to come and have a cup of coffee with you. That's it.
Casual conversation.
Very
Okay,
casual.
okay, okay.
Don't talk business.
Connect
at all.
on the human level.
Yes. And while he was doing this, couple of times, or maybe if I'm not exaggerating, he would have visited that client at least some 15 to 20 times, just like that. One fine day, there was some situation where their current service provider was not able to support, and my guy is qualified and equipped and skilled, whatnot. He had connect everything established in the industry. So he just took one phone call. It just took one phone call for him to resolve his issue.
That's nice.
Things changed upside down. That same time the founders were there. They said, "Who is this gentleman?" Then this POC to point of contact. I told them so so and so. Then they said, "Okay, not just one. They had three organizations." They said, "Release all the three organizations POs to him." So in one go, things turned the table.
So you got POs for
Yeah.
what, if I may ask?
And as and when we are speaking today, we have that onboarding discussion.
It's going on.
Happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
How big was the PO?
It's very huge. It's very huge.
Sorry.
I don't want to reveal the number,
Okay.
but yeah, it's in two-digit lakhs monthly revenue.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's a monthly number.
Monthly number.
You talk about positivity and abundance. Can you dwell a little bit on that and just talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so this is something which I picked up from my mom. So she was a professor in Bangalore. Later, for family reasons, we moved to Tamil Nadu. There, she started as a small tuition center. From there, she made it into a school. So there, one thing which I observed is she always used to at least some 50% of the students over there, they were given free education, including books and fees. So later, I realized that how big an impact it had made when I had grown up and completed all my MBA and stuff. When I went to that town once, I was just walking in the road and somebody suddenly stopped me and he said, "Sir, do you recall me?" And he took his name. I had no clue who he was. Then he told me I was your mom's student, and today I am. I think he was a police constable or something. So he was the fifth or sixth son in his family, and that gave me a kind of looking back and seeing how she had that
Changed.
kind of vision. Being she had a lot of challenges financially and stuff, but still she never gave up of this kind of goals. So that is something which I wanted to carry forward as a legacy. So that is how I gave you an example of people who didn't had a degree, but still I wanted them to be part of a non-role assignment. So a person who doesn't have a communication skill, bring him on board,
Right.
groom him, and those are all the reasons why I did that. Is that I picked it from my mom. So when you see them flourishing, and now today these people have become founders.
That is so nice.
Yeah, these people have become founders, and I'm so happy about them, and they are in a position to give careers to people. So this is the positivity which I want to spread across, and like I always tell, world is not going to come to an end at all. Things will still keep going the same way, the way
True.
it has to be. So it is
Yeah.
only that whether we are in that game or not.
I think you're talking about the mindset again.
My
It's the
mindset,
perspective.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I always say that no, if there will be challenges, take it as a challenge and face it as simple as it. And be very, the more positive you are, that itself will give you that energy. Now people call it as an aura or whatever it is, right? But I call it as being little vibrant about yourself. Be confident, be vibrant about yourself, believe in yourself, keep moving. When you move towards a goal, I see myself as an elephant, right? Just keep, when an elephant walks, it just brushes away the small plants which come in between. It doesn't even see that there's a plant which was existing over there.
Right.
It just walks past
Like
that.
being fixated at your
Yeah,
goal so
yeah.
that nothing else around
Yes,
you
yes,
can move you.
yes.
All right, awesome. So, wildlife photography and singing, these are two very broad spectrums. How do you balance it out? And, which one is more prevalent is, I think,
Okay. I would see it together rather.
both of them
Yeah,
as
yeah,
together.
together.
Okay.
So I'll tell you how also. When a bird makes a noise, we call it as a song.
Right.
So I have already answered that, both are together,
Okay.
right? And when you go to wildlife, all you'll have to do is just, maintain pin drop silence. You will listen to music. Trust me, you will listen to music from every aspect of the wild part, be it the leaves falling, dropping down, or a bird singing, or a honeybee making a noise, or there are other flies which make noise. Everything put together, it will make beautiful music,
It's so nice.
right? And
It's very artistic actually for what you just said, but I don't think
no,
a lot of people can comprehend it the way you just said it.
but yeah, you will have to experience. Trust me, I was a guy who was not able to control my energy in terms of being aggressive. Typical sales guy. There are times that I have told people that whatever be the situation, if you'll have to be at that place, you'll have to be at that place. And I have ensured my people get drenched in rain, still they come and report me in that place. I was that level at one point of time, but after going through all this healing therapy of so-called wildlife photography and stuff, I learned so many things.
I know that there are a lot of people who are into this wildlife photography, but what was your tipping point to like say, hey, this is the direction I want to take?
Yeah.
Because you're very passionate about it, sounds like.
So I was always, more of from the day the camera based mobile phones came, I used to click photos, especially with nature and stuff like that. You see the cloud mountains over there. So I used to take photographs of those things. So it so happened that in one of my organization, one of my colleague who was into marketing, he was into photography and wildlife photography. So I went and asked him, saying that, yeah, I also want to do photography. And he said, it's a very costly affair. So if you want to test whether you are really serious or not, pick up a small camera and see how serious are you. And then if you really want to do it further, then you can pursue. That's how I started. And like I said, probably my mind and soul was searching for some kind of outlet for this energy to get more processed. So one side it was singing for sure. Singing has been helping me a lot in terms of keeping my rhythm balanced, my mind balanced, and emotions balanced.
Yeah.
But there are many situations off late, especially I hardly get time to sing or
I was
hum
about
also.
to ask you, like, how do you manage? Like, do you take out time for yourself to do these things in a week? Have you like timed it? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so when it comes to photography, there are certain seasons where I plan it out with my friends
Okay, got it.
and I go out and do the photographies.
Okay.
Singing, like I told, now off late I hardly get
Yeah.
chance, but yeah, whenever I get, I make use of it and I keep practicing at home.
Okay.
That's how I do.
Any specific kind of music that you like the viewers to know that you personally
More of
like?
a soft melody. So I am a hardcore fan of Sri Yesudas ji and then Sri Sonu Nigam.
Okay.
These are the two people whom I idealize. So naturally, I pick up that kind of songs and I try to sing those songs. And since I always believe that singing is more of expressing emotions, I ended up singing more of sad songs mostly
Okay.
because I again believe that it has more scope to express.
One last question on that is, if you were to recollect one of your best photos that you've ever clicked,
Mhm.
what was that?
There are a number of such photos, but yeah, normally any bird photography is very very challenging in my opinion, if you ask me, because at least animal is little larger in size. You set up the entire setting of a camera; it is easy for you to shoot. But birds are not of that kind because you can't expect them to stay still in one
Still,
position for
yeah, yeah.
more than or less than a second. Also, I would say. So timing is very important. So it is a again natural process which falls in place. So it so happened that one of my friend overnight he called me and he said there's a migratory owl which has come all the way from Mongolia. Would you like to shoot? And we traveled in the midnight towards Tamil Nadu, and on the lake bed we shot the picture of that. And casually, one of the some competition was happening, and I just randomly posted this picture, and it was a global level competition, and I got selected. In India, I was around top 150 or something like that.
It's very nice.
And at a global level, some 8 to 15 lakhs. I don't remember the number exactly, but yeah, I think it was 15 lakh participants.
It's the talk of the town around the world is work-life balance.
Yeah.
So you're an SVP of sales,
Yes.
and on the other hand, you're an artist and a photographer. How do you balance that out in a busy life?
Again, discipline plays a major role here. If you are making sure your calendars are maintained properly, you add your personal calendar also. You make sure that you can fix your own timeline, whether it's be monthly or bi-monthly or weekly. It is up to us. People can choose what they want to do. Many people hit the gym. That's a very good thing. Many people go to yoga, which is very good.
Right.
Many people go to wildlife photography like me, and many people do singing. Yeah, every option is there, but just make sure that you don't give any reason, no matter whatever. This is something which people outside India practice very meticulously. When they go on their holidays, they are on their holidays,
True.
right?
Yes.
But see, I can give all this gyan, but still, even today, if you ask me, sometimes because the criticality and the dependency is so high on us that we'll have to. But make sure that you don't go deep into again the professional side when you're on a holiday. Try to
Yeah.
maintain that, and that balance is it's by practice. It's purely by practice. And initially, it might prick your consciousness, saying that I am doing this when there is something calling on the professional side. But you'll have to do this because if this one day you're not going to do it, your next 1 month or 1 week or 2 months, it is going to impact. The performances are going to get impacted. Today, if you see, fortunately, there are so much of travel industry which has opened up in India, and there are people who are picking it up, which is very beautiful.
Right.
So let us make use of it. And India, till even today, I will say that we wouldn't have covered even 40% of India's natural beauty, if you ask me, from tourism point of view.
I have a very controversial question,
Mhm.
and I want your perspective on how you feel. You're on a holiday
Yeah.
with family,
Yes.
having gala time with family. Your boss says you have to get on a call, and maybe you're with your wife and kids. What do you do?
It depends on the situation. What kind of situation is it? If it is something which I can tell my boss saying that I'm on a family vacation, and if not immediately, probably I would join maybe an hour later or 2 hours later. Or if it is a burning situation where we all had to jam up, I will take just 5 minutes pause from my holiday. I think that is fair. That is fair.
Yeah,
We
cool.
can do that. I have done this as recent as yesterday or day before. So when I was
Yeah, your wife's happy with you.
we see we are sales guys. You
Fair
you can
enough.
sell anything, right?
All right, we come to the last section, which is rapid fire. So literally, you don't have to think. Just
Okay.
whatever comes to your mind, just
I'll,
go with
I'll,
it.
I'll
All
try
right.
to.
So, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Last wildlife sighting that stopped you in your tracks.
Blue-eared kingfisher.
One sales myth you want dead and buried.
Sales guys, lie and try to sell at any cost is a myth.
Okay. Jungle or boardroom?
Jungle, naturally.
Okay. If you were an animal, what animal?
Elephant.
Why?
Intelligent.
Cool. Most underrated thing that is about sales.
Underrated. Sales guys are smart, which people seldom realize, and actually they are the ones who provide you solution. They are enablers for you, is what I would say to the brands out there. We are working on your behalf.
Awesome. One word that describes your leadership style.
Cool.
Okay. Singing in the shower, yes or no?
Of course, yes.
Okay. Something that instantly kills your positive energy.
Negative people around gossiping.
What's the one thing that you would tell your younger self?
My younger self, keep doing the good work. What you're doing.
All right, cool, awesome. With that, we come to an end to yet another episode. And Aditya, thank you very much once again for all your time and all the wisdom. I learned so much about wildlife. Today, I'm going to go teach my children. So thank you very much, and we look forward to airing this soon. And then may God bless you.
Thank you, and pleasure is mine as well. And it has been a fantastic journey and experience for me. And yeah, wildlife management is something new concept which I am trying to build. I hope through this podcast, people would also start thinking from
No,
that
absolutely.
perspective.